put this up on the screen. All right, Steph, so what's your side of the story here? What's going on?
Okay, so basically he lied like the whole part about me, and he cut out the parts where we kind of reconnected on a friendly basis. So we were just telling each other about our lives and everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you said you guys reconnected on a friendly basis?
Yeah, so by a coincidence, somebody I met someone and they were telling me that they knew Abba. So they decided to text Abba, and I was like, don't do that, please. That would be really awkward. So that's why I reached out to Abba, and I was like, hey, so sorry if somebody reaches out. I didn't really mean to talk about you. So we have a friendly talk, and in this friendly first talk, we're just catching up on each other's lives. And this is where I sent a picture of me and my ex-boyfriend. So he's a piece of for actually putting the picture of me and my ex-boyfriend and insinuating that I cheated, because that was not the case.
Okay. Did you not ask Abba you wouldn't cheat with me?
I did, but he should put the rest of the chat, because it was a joke, and I made clear that it was a joke. Why does it cut off there?
Stephanie, let me make one thing clear to you. When you tell a man who has you, when you ask a man who has you wouldn't cheat with me, if your boyfriend or the guy that you were seeing saw that, that's not okay. That's not okay. I don't care. Fine. Look, I don't care what happens after the chat. No, that's on you.
It is on me.
All right, continue.
No, was it becoming a bit flirty? I'll agree. This was unfair to my ex-boyfriend. I shouldn't have.
Okay, well, there you go. See, and guys, what I want to point out, and remember, just hang on here for me, Steph. You hear what she said in the beginning. She says, yeah, we reconnected, and yeah, it was a bit flirty. Stephanie, you're not going to sit here and tell me that there was no sexual tension when you guys reconnected with each other. You know that, we know that, and everybody knows that. When you reconnect with a man who's been inside of you, it's not just to be friends. And let me ask you another one. Let me ask you another question. When you reconnected with Abba, was the guy you're dating aware of that?
I did. I broke up with him, and one of the reasons I broke up with him was because I said I'm not here anymore, emotionally.
You're not there anymore emotionally? It didn't have anything to do with the fact that you were trying to Abba on the side?
I'm trying to fuck Abba on the side. It took a long time for us to text until we were in any way sexual again or stuff like that.
So you're telling me that when you guys reconnected, you had no intention whatsoever of having sex with Abba again?
Well, I did, but I wasn't texting him in a sexual way.
There it is. Of course not. But you told me, oh, it was all just friendly. Guys, this is what happens. This is what women do to avoid, and listen, shout out to you, Stephanie, for coming up here and facing the music, but this is what women do. They try to mischaracterize these situations. Well, it was all sweet and all innocent. She just sat here and told us, yeah, I was trying to again, but in the beginning, you're like, it was friendly. Guys, this is why we teach what we teach. And Stephanie, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're a terrible person or whatever the case may be, because we all go through. Well, that's because you are, sweetheart.
Thanks.
Well, listen, if the shoe fits, wear it. If Abba were here today, what would you tell him?
I feel like I've said what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I think it's really sad what he's doing, and I think the reason he has to stoop that low is because he has nothing else. So.
No, Abba has quite a bit. And listen, I'm not the guy's biggest fan. If I see him, it's smack on sight. But the reason,
Why?
What's that?
I thought you were defending him here. I thought it was funny. You were on his side. Why would you smack him though?
You got to do your research, baby. You got to do your research. The point is I'm not taking his side, and I'm not taking Libby's side, and I'm damn sure not taking your side. Everybody was wrong in this situation. You guys engaged in unprotected sex. You had an abortion. And that's the thing, Stephanie. You know Abba's got money. Why on earth would you just abort the bag? Because as soon as you have the kid, the guy makes $50K a month. Why not carry the pregnancy to term? You're set for life.
That's so weak. Why would I want that?
I don't know. I guess you're honorable.
Is money everything in your life? Do you want a partner based on how much they make? Do you not have enough by yourself?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't give a how much a woman makes.
Then why are you looking after money?
Because because that's what you guys go after, typically. You're not going to
But I
sit here and
haven't.
say what?
But I haven't though.
Right. And my question to you is, why not? Are you somehow different than all these other girls?
Well, if I'm thinking of like raising a
It's a
child,
yes or no question,
we have
Stephanie.
to look at the circumstance, no?
Okay, so why have
This
unprotected
is just
sex?
one of the factors.
You're right. So why, and I understand that, so why have unprotected sex with a man if you're not sure about him being a father? Why even risk that?
I risked it because he said he had an illness which he had to take medication for, and I was naive at the time and I believed it. So he goes on to get me pregnant, which was a traumatic thing. And I thought for him it must have been also like a bit traumatic. And then he just goes on to do the same thing again. So this is why I came out, because this is obviously something he doesn't give a about. Like, I had an abortion, but he's going out here willy-nilly, like getting girls pregnant here, here, here. So of course he didn't care.
No, he clearly didn't. He clearly didn't. I'll give you the last word. Is there anything you want my audience to know that we previously didn't, or?
No, I feel like if what I'm saying like isn't right or like not super what you guys wanted to hear, then I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
just
no,
been
no, no,
very
no, no, no.
hard to
I
go
didn't.
on social.
No,
Yeah?
don't trip. I don't want you to. No, that's one thing I don't want you to do. Do not tell us what we want to hear. Okay, what we wanted to hear was the truth. And the truth is, everybody was wrong in this situation. Like I said, I am definitely not going to be the dude to come on here and defend Abba. And the reason why I do not like Abba is Abba has made it, him and Preach, they have made it their personal mission to talk all the about us and what we teach here in the sphere. We teach the men in my audience to stay away from women like you. And he could have used this knowledge when he was with you, and that's why he is in this predicament. I'll give you the last word.
No, maybe I do have a question. If this is interesting, if it's not interesting, let's not.
Yeah, sure.
But I was wondering, like, if you had a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had to teach her about like men and everything, isn't this like one of the guys you would kind of tell her to stay away from too?
Who, if I had a daughter, would I tell her to stay away from Abba?
Yeah, from guys like Abba. Like, do you not think that his way of doing things is deceptive? And
Yes,
there is
absolutely.
some merit in like sharing
Yeah.
the story for us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would teach my daughters to stay away from guys like Abba, and I would teach my sons to stay away from women like you. So yeah, you got me there.
But do you not think if I kept the baby, I would have had more out of the situation?
Yeah, clearly. This is why I asked you, why didn't you have the baby?
Okay, so I was not being like a gold digger or anything.
So you're different?
You're telling me to stay, people to stay away from girls like me because I'm vindictive, or?
No, I would advise my son to stay away from girls like you because of what is happening right now.
Because I have gone public?
Yes, because you had unprotected sex with a man you barely knew, and you got an abortion, and then you went public. That's why.
Have you ever been married?
Yes, I'm married right now.
Your first marriage?
Oh, good God, no. I've been married. This is my, well, long story, but no, this is my second official marriage.
Okay, so you love and you lose some, right? So this was my love and lose in a way.
Yeah, except for
People
there is a
make
child.
mistakes.
Yeah, you make mistakes,
like
but
to
there is
have
hold on, wait, let me finish. You're right. Everybody makes mistakes, but you terminated the life of an unborn child without their consent. I'm sorry. There's different levels of wrong. I agree. We all get W's and we all take L's in life. But I'm telling you, right, I don't know, honestly, Stephanie, I don't know how you recover from this. Like, I don't know how you recover from this. Like, what are you going to tell the next guy who says, wait a minute, aren't you the girl who had unprotected sex with Abba and then had an abortion and then went public? How are you going to explain that?
Well, you're a divorced guy. I would be like, well, you also did some stuff, you know?
Okay. And what, you just
You're
think
not like-
that...
I'm not saying I need to pick of the litter. I just want to pick someone that I love and do that for life. How's that like?
So,
I'm just going to probably be with a normal guy. He doesn't... If he judges me for this, then he's maybe not the one for me.
He's not the guy for me. Right. And that's exactly... Do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear this? She just said it right here. If he is going to judge me for this, then maybe he's not the guy for me. And guys, she is being 100% honest. And yeah, I've done my dirt, don't get me wrong. But this is the thing. You got to understand this, Stephanie. Men and women are different. And Abba told Abba was telling everyone he could. Anyone who would listen, it's not the same. Girls aren't doing this. Every time Fresh and Fit gets in a situation like this, girls don't do that. This guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girls who are all telling him the same things. Abba's 0 for 5. And you are the type of women that we teach our guys here to stay away from. Not because you're bad people, but because you guys are bad wives and girlfriends.
Well, I feel like everything I've lost from this, which is a lot, it was worth it if some girls maybe just stay away from guys like Abba, or they're like recognize the story in some way.
Yeah, I agree. I
Because
definitely agree with
there
that.
are guys that are like deceptive and they'll tell you, well, I'm on some sort of medication and stuff. And
Yeah.
it does seem to be deceptive.
No,
So like,
it's not.
how are we not
It's not.
calling him an abuser and a liar? Because that's
It's
what
not.
he is.
He's definitely a liar. That's for goddamn sure. That's definitely, yeah. I'm not gonna run from that. He's definitely a liar or whatever you want to call it. But like I said, there are no good guys or bad guys in this situation. Right now, it's like literally just two bad guys, two bad guys in the story. I'm not. And here's the thing. I don't know Abba personally. I mean, you know him better than I do personally. I'm not going to come up here and say he's a bad person. This dude made very, very bad decisions, as did you. And if I were you, if somebody asks you about what happened in the situation, and my advice to you, Stephanie, is not to say, well, what did you do in your last relationship? Guys ain't going for that. They're not going to go for, oh, you're going to ask me what I did in my last relationship? Look, you don't have to listen to me. That's just food for thought. Food for thought.
Sorry, what's the food for thought again? Sorry.
The food for thought is if somebody asks you if you're dating a guy, be like, hey, wait a minute, aren't you Stephanie, the guy that Abba knocked up that you had the abortion? Remember what you asked me? Remember what you said to me? Well, what did you do in your last relationship, Donovan? I would highly suggest that you not do that with the next guy you're with. If I were you, I would just take accountability, be like, hey, look, I messed up. I made a bad decision. I made an even worse decision by going public. And listen, stand on business like you did with me. Hey, look, everything I've lost, it's worth it because now I can teach women. I can teach. I can show other women. Abba's not the type of dude you want. And I'll tell you what. The one thing that you really absolutely destroyed him with was that he was emotional and lame. That's exactly what he is. So in the future, Stephanie, I would not be having unprotected sex with men who are emotional and lame, who are on some secret medicine to keep girls from getting pregnant.
Word. Well, normally in the dating context, I would never say like, hey, well, you're divorced and I did some dirt. Like, it's never about like winning or losing. I don't think it's ever about tallying up the points. But I think I want to be with someone that is like multi-dimensional and not like stupid to be like, where you're just, I don't know. Like, nobody that's ever with me will be like thinking I'm a virgin or anything. I'm not like deceptive like that. And it's also sexy to have some experience, the good and the bad. So, you know, you got divorced, you had an abortion, things happen. Why would I want to be with someone that like lacks
Whoa. Listen,
this experience?
No, I hear what you're saying. Me getting a divorce and you having an abortion, that's not the same, Stephanie. I'm sorry. That's not the same. You're not going to sit, I'm like,
No, I'm saying
like,
you did something. I'm not saying that like the tragedy of mine is of course much bigger, but I'm saying you did something that felt so right at the time because you trusted someone and you went forward with this decision thinking it was the right one. And it's not the right one.
Yeah, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Listen, you can explain that to whoever you're with. And I genuinely hope that whoever you're with is going to be as forgiving as, you know, a little bit more forgiving. But I'm telling you, Stephanie, this is going to be hard for you to live down. If I were you, honestly, I would probably look into legally changing my name and maybe dyeing my hair blonde and divorcing myself of this entire situation. If you were my sister, then that's what I would tell you to do. Instead of pointing the finger and saying, hey, yeah, okay, I might have done this, but he was abusive and he's a liar. Okay, and what do you want me to do? Put Abba in jail? No, I don't. I'm nobody's authority. Instead of telling me, because trust me, I'm not even halfway through this video yet. I'm gonna cook Abba. I'm gonna let everybody know where he.
Sorry, I was watching for a little while. I was like, when's the part where it's gonna be his turn? Anyway, so he also like, did you see in the second stream he did? He doxed my full name. He put my LinkedIn.
Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong.
And he
That
did
is
this
for
again
sure.
this time. So I really had no other choice than to like come forward because he thinks I would like be scared. So
Yeah,
I think
that's
my
one.
way of coming forward was kind of just being upfront and
Yep.
transparent with everything.
Yep. Yep. No,
And
listen,
that's
in
what
my
I
opinion,
did. So
no, I agree. In my opinion, you absolutely did the right thing. When he decided to and him doxing you, that was that was absolutely positively made. I don't care. Listen, I'm not the
bitch
order.
made.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be the order of morality because God knows I have done some crazy in my life. But when it comes to stuff like this, like doxing somebody, that's something that women do. Aba has acted like a woman throughout this scenario. Like you girls getting together and doing this, that doesn't shock us at all, right? Because girls like you are always, anytime you guys somebody with clout and you guys don't get what you want or you find out that he screwed somebody else over, you guys always get together and you guys put his information out there. That's nobody's fault. That's just how it is. I'm not here to cry about it. This is just how modern women are. But by the same token, it's almost like, you know, if somebody's going to try to screw you over, it would not be in somebody's best interest to try to dox them, because now it's going to give women like you the result of, oh, you want to dox me? Cool. I'm going to put everything out there.
I don't think that's what he wished for.
Well, clearly not. I think he clearly wanted to intimidate you. Let me read you a comment here, Stephanie. Mediocre Jiu-Jitsu says, if you're going online saying someone is abusive, that probably means they weren't abusive, because if they were there, you would go to the police. Fuck out of there. Then G-Fresh says, doxing is a low blow. Dude has emotional damage. That I would agree with. So how would you characterize Aba? What would you say that Aba did that was abusive?
Well, I'm gonna be okay. So sorry for the TMI. So when he said, when we met the second time was when I got pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had texted me like this STD test, and he kind of convinced me into not using condoms, even though that's not what I was into. And then when we were intimate, just after it happened, I was like, hey, so what's really this sort of medication? Because I was kind of confused on that.
Sure.
And he goes like, well, I'm not on that medication anymore. And he gets like shocked, and he makes me get a plan B, even though I have a high thrombosis risk.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
So, well, sorry. Well, and I had a high thrombosis risk, so taking like hormonal pills for me doesn't really work because it might like clog my artery. Well, whatever.
Oh, deep vein thrombosis, because if you get a blood clot, it could come up to your... Okay, I got you.
So we go to the pharmacy, and this whole time he's like being very cold towards me. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, oh, so he lied.
Something is amiss, you're thinking.
Why is he forgetting that he's not on this medication? And why wouldn't he tell me? And why would he just,
Sure.
That sort of thing. So right. Then I was blocked, and then I told him that I wasn't getting my period, and I was still blocked at the time, and I think maybe for him it looked like I was lying about this, because I was also convinced that like with a plan B, like the chances of it still going through were like low. So
Sure.
Anyway, so traumatic thing. I have to sit in Switzerland and decide by myself whether or not I want to do this, and I decide against it, which is a choice you can judge all you want. I think I made the right choice.
Okay, very good. Where is the abuse? I'm still waiting to hear the part where he abused you.
The part where I think it's abuse is when he goes on and he tells another girl the same story, and he also gets her pregnant.
That's
so now
not
you're being
abuse.
deceptive, right?
That's not abuse. No, you're right. That is deceptive. That is not abuse. I think women.
And when I went over to Canada, this was in March. He told Libby on April 10. I put it in the Dropbox too. There's like endless texts of him harassing her and telling her that she's a for having this Instagram, and that he wants the money back from all the time they've dated.
That's.
I think this was borderline abuse, is it?
Okay. Well, hold on. Now you made some good points. What he did was crazy. What he did was female. Blah 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 blah. But something is like, you can't be, and you should know this. There's no such thing as being a little bit pregnant. If you're going to say someone was abusive, you can't then change your story and say it was borderline abuse. Listen. Let's get one thing right. He scammed you. He deceived you. I get it. He told you that he was on medication to keep girls from getting pregnant. And, like, listen, you had feelings for him. You gave him the benefit of the doubt. I get it. I understand that. I have been fooled by women into thinking that they were someone that they were not, etc., etc. I get that. But then to turn around and call someone abusive because he got over on you, you don't even have to say that he's abusive for us to know that the guy's a scumbag. Like, the guy's a scumbag and a dirtbag without you having to use the dreaded A word. He didn't abuse you. He got over on you. He got other girls pregnant. He lied and deceived you. You don't have to call him abusive if he didn't put hands on you.
Oh, is that? Oh, I thought, okay, so maybe this is a language barrier thing, but I thought you could also be abusive in other ways.
No, this is not a language barrier thing.
Is this physical? Like, does abuse have to be physical?
Oh, if he really did, here, I'll put it to you this way. If someone really abuses you and you call the cops and you describe to them, okay, somebody abused me. Okay, what did they do? Well, he had sex with me. The sex was consensual, but he lied to me about this medication. And then he was very cold to me, and he was very mean to me. And then he went to another country, and he got another girl pregnant. Stephanie, do you really believe the police are going to come and lock him up for what you just told them over the phone? Yes or no?
I'm sure. I don't think so. But in Canada, I'm pretty sure it's like a crime to
well, then why don't...
like film someone while you're having sex unconsent.
Well, he told according to him, he told you were into it. But let him tell it. He said, "Hey, you consented to it, and then you decided, hey, you know what? Delete it." And he was like, "Okay, I'll delete it." So you were cool with it then, and then you made, you went, you made the right call and saying, "Hey, look, I don't want this stuff of me out there." So, like, you're not going to sit here and tell me that you didn't know that he was filming the two of you having sex. You knew that he was filming you. It's just that you had a little bit of post-whatever clarity and said, nah, I don't want that out there. Again, I want to make it clear. I am not on Abba's side. I do not like that. Please believe. But by the same token, I'm not going to have women that he has had anything to do with come on here and say that he was abusive. If you really do believe that you have a case for abuse, then fly to Canada and press charges against him for abuse. But I got to warn you, I don't think you're going to get very far.
Well, no, I just did it now for with the cyber police for just the doxing part. Okay. Because that was like clear my personal information.
Yeah, that was...
The rest, I'm not sure there's a crime in there, but if I should correct myself, I would say he was verbally abusive to Libby, and he's a scumbag. Yeah.
Okay. Verbally abusive. How do you define verbal abuse?
I think is it verbal or, per text too. I think you can just read up on it. He sent her like endless paragraphs on how she was deceptive, how she should send back the money, how she's a and to me, this is something I've never had in my relationships, where I just have to go insulting them and go on like long tirades. I think that's abusive.
Okay. You think that but you got to understand something, Stephanie, is just because you think something is abusive doesn't mean that it is abusive. You understand? And again, I want to make it clear. The way he talked to Libby was absolutely wrong. It was absolutely wrong. It was feminine. It was female. And the fact that he doxed you, that was extra. But I would really, and listen, you're a grown-ass woman. You can do whatever and say whatever it is you want to do. I would be very, very careful about using the abuse word. You can get your point across, and you can let us know what a scumbag he was, but there's no need to throw in the term abuse if there was no real abuse. Okay, so he said mean things to somebody. Okay, reprehensible, sure, of course. That does not rise to the level of abuse, because if there really were such
abuse?
Abuse is physically... Yeah. Abuse is physically putting your hands on somebody when they don't want you to. This is the reason why. There's no
verbal abuse?
No, there's no. Is verbal abuse a crime? Let me ask you something.
In some instances, it is.
And where? Cite me the case. Cite me the case where somebody got arrested for verbal abuse.
Well, in Switzerland, you can if you insult someone.
Has anyone ever been insulted? Has anyone ever been arrested in Switzerland for insulting someone?
I was somebody actually once went to the police because I insulted them. So
okay, and did you go to jail?
I called a fat she then had to pay a bill because
you had to pay the bill because you called somebody a fat.
Sorry?
Did you go to jail? Did you face any legal ramifications?
Well, I could have gone to jail, but I just paid the bill.
You could have gone to jail for calling a girl a fat.
Well, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
either
I
you
don't
pay a
believe you.
bill, or
Nah,
if you don't
that's
have
bullshit.
money, you can like
No.
sit in jail
Stephanie,
for a
baby,
day.
baby, sweetie, you're not gonna. You can't go to jail. You can't go to jail for calling someone names. Like in the States, we have
You
this saying,
can.
"Sticks and
Well,
no,
in
you
the
can't."
States, I'm not in the States. Sorry for not knowing.
Well now you know. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. We have we have a long history of slavery here in the United States. No one has ever gone to jail for calling a black man a. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a word. So
Oh, you
you're.
guys have free speech, like okay. So all right. Sorry, I forgot you were in the States. I think you guys have a different setup for everything.
We do. The point is there's no such thing as verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is something that women use when they're mad at someone for saying something mean to them. Verbal abuse is, and again, I'm on your side in terms of his activities. Yes, he was a dirtbag. He was a liar, deceiver, blah 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 blah. And I don't like the guy. I do not like the guy, and I'm never going to like the guy. But I'm not going to allow you or anyone else to call a man who has never put his hands on you if you didn't want him to abusive. To me, that's wrong.
Okay. I do think you have a different understanding of the word.
Are you guys
So for
listening to this? Are you
anybody
guys
that speaks German, I wanted to say it's missbräuchlich, which it is. So
What does that mean?
maybe I just said a German word, but
And what was the German word?
I said
Missbräuchlich.
missbräuchlich.
Missbräuchlich. What does that mean?
Well, it means like abusive, but maybe it's used differently in the States. I wouldn't know. Also, I don't care.
I have a well.
I'll correct
again,
myself.
okay,
He's
that's
a
fine.
scumbag, okay?
Yeah. He's a scumbag. He's a dirtbag. But just be very, very careful with using the word abusive, because the thing is like that term is unnecessary for us to see what a dirtbag the guy is. But let's not lie on him. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's on your side. Pierre Fritzberg says calling someone a name can be a crime in Switzerland under the Swiss Criminal Code. Articles 173-77, verbal insults, defamation, and slandered are treated as direct offenses against another person's honor. I stand corrected. But hang on a second.
I knew it
is that
was
called
true.
abuse? Say again. Say that one more time.
Sorry, I knew I wasn't like crazy.
Well, it's not
because
that
I did call somebody a name before, and
Sure, it's not that I'm trying to say you're crazy. What I'm trying to say is you're having this conversation in bad faith. The man was not abusive. The man was. I understand you're pissed at him, and I would be too. But there's like this situation was enough. You don't have to also say, oh, and he was abusive. If he were like physically abusive towards you, that is absolutely reprehensible. But you don't really seem to be like you don't really seem to be mentally small, because I'm a pretty fiery guy, and you're still here on the screen, right? And so I'm not gonna get to a point to where I'm not gonna talk to someone, and I'm not gonna just verbally insult someone for no reason. But the point is that you cannot be put in jail just because somebody said something mean to you, at least in Canada. And if it were such a crime, Stephanie, then why not charge him with the I can't even pronounce the word. Why can't you charge under Articles 173, 177, verbal insults, defamation, and slander? Why not press charges against him there?
well, I have for just doxing me.
What about
And
the
also,
okay?
I don't want to go there, to be
And
honest. I think that was
and I
pretty
understand.
low.
You're right, and I wouldn't go there either. But the reason why you don't want to go there is because it's not worth it. Because him calling you names, Stephanie, let's be honest with you, that's probably way down here on the wrong things he did. Dude, he lied to you about the fact that he couldn't get you pregnant. Then he blocked you. Like, all that is bad. Him calling you names and saying mean stuff, that's down here. And deep down, you know that. That's why you haven't gone to the cops about that. You went to the cops about him doxing you. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Well, I also called him a to be fair, so.
So guys, you would both be in jail. Ay.
Well, we wouldn't both be in jail. I think the
ay.
wrongdoings of his have been like so much worse that me calling him, it's like what's it called, like a drop on a hot stone. So it's whatever.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. No.
He really went off on Libby, so this is why I kind of wanted to come in and protect her, because there's no way you can go around being that much of a scumbag, and nobody apparently, like, we have 6 women now that have felt comfortable enough to come out and be like, oh, he's a scumbag. And no women apparently have come out and said that he's a good guy. So I don't know what that says about him.
No, listen. I mean, listen. Is he a scumbag?
Yep.
Is he a good dude?
Nope.
No, like, listen, Abba is all of these, he is all of these superlatives, and trust me, he's going to be held accountable in the court of public opinion. The man didn't commit any crimes, at least none that I know of, other than really calling you a bunch of names and calling you all that other kind of stuff. Is that something I would do? No, but again, not reprehensible, yes. Against the law, no. Listen, if a white person walks up to a black person and says, you're a is that something that is reprehensible? Absolutely. But it is absolutely positively not against the law. So in the future, when you are talking about this, let's leave out the A word. You can include all the stuff you want. And Libby's a big girl. I think she can take care of herself, clearly. I would just stay away from those adjectives like abusive, because that would really hurt your credibility, because Abba, as far as I know, he hasn't committed any crimes. He's a scumbag, but he's not a criminal.
Well, yeah, maybe you can say that. I think I learned English from just books and social media. So I feel like I hear people calling people abusers all the time. Maybe I wasn't like sure on what
that's fair.
What that really meant. So
okay. That's fair, and I'm here to tell you that the word abusive is overused, and the definition of abusive is becoming increasingly subjective. Which when I say subjective, I mean it's sort of in the eye of the beholder. If I feel like I was abused, then I was abused. No. If you were really abused, you would have gone to the cops. So I'll give you a little bit of grace on the whole using abusive thing, because you didn't really understand how widely misused it is. But I'm telling you right now, you have enough on this guy to not call him abusive. He's many things. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as I know, unless something else comes out, abusive he is not. Just be very careful. Be very, very careful about using that word in the future. That's my only advice.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, very good.
I feel like I'm really glad you let me speak. To be honest, I didn't think this would be such a back and forth on this level, but I'm like, you surprised me. You have my follow and whatever.
Okay, good stuff. And listen, shout out to you for coming up, because
stop calling me. That's I don't like that word, but
well, if you stop doing whorish activities, then I will stop calling you Stephanie Deal.
Okay, I'll stop whoring and you stop calling me whore.
There we go. DeMarco, there we go. We are saving these. We are saving these.
One time.
We are saving these